Ready? Live. Should be on right now. All right, good. We're live. I just want to make sure that we're live. Again, really frustrating. I wish YouTube would also alert me when the stream is not following policy. Because that to me just pisses me the hell off. I mean, that I don't understand what else I need to do, YouTube. I really don't. Hopefully you guys are kind of tuning in right now. Again, guys, we had another freaking incident again where YouTube decides to block the freaking content because I'm showing you a freaking highlight reel from the actual NBA account. And I don't understand what the problem is. I really don't understand what the problem is. And so I'll be contacting YouTube in just a second. It just, what sucks to me is that I can't physically call them and talk to them. Like, I have to freaking do this stupid email thing. I understand that there's billions of content being made each and every day. I get that. But this to me is just an absolute farce as it pertains to highlights. Like, why can I not show a highlight of me explaining why Trae Young is going to be in the conversation for MVP? I don't understand that, YouTube, at all. So if you guys are tuned in, make sure you guys are tuned in. Like I said, I apologize for how the stream is going. Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why I multi-stream. This is why I need you guys to follow me on different avenues and different platforms. Whether it's, like I said, YouTube, but more so Twitch. If you guys want to follow me on Twitch, go ahead and do that. I'm going to start adding some more websites to this because I don't understand, like, in what planet and in what God's green earth can I not show you guys the highlights? I don't understand why I can't show you guys YouTube videos of highlights now. Like, I don't understand, like, why that is a problem. And it's not like I'm watching a full game. It's not like I'm doing anything illegal. I'm literally showing you guys highlights of a game that happened yesterday. Is it because I'm not ESPN and paying you a bajillion dollars so I can have rights to the content? Man, I think this has got to stop. I think YouTube needs to start looking at this. Like I said, at the end of the day, I could just talk about it. I could probably get my whiteboard and we can start drawing it. If that's what YouTube wants me to do, we can start drawing up why Trae Young is looking so good. We're gonna start doing that stuff. Like, I can do that. I can do that, YouTube, if that's what it's gonna take. But really, it is frustrating for me that I have to sit here and basically I get on the phone with them. And they say, sorry, if you want to contact us, you got to do it through email. I'm not playing that game, YouTube. I'm done playing the semantic games of going through other resources or other situations so I can talk to you in order to make sure that I can stream my NBA content, because I'm trying to show people why Trae Young. Apparently I can just reenact the games on the court. I'll get some like 3D model figures, or if Sean, if you want to be an actor, you want to play the Trae Young role, you can play the Trae Young role. But really what I'm getting frustrated with YouTube, and they're not consistently telling me about, is like they say, oh, you did a violation, a policy violation. And when I go to check like my YouTube studio to see like, okay, what are they saying about it? There's nothing there. And so I need you to tell me what policy I violated. I need you to tell me like, okay, you can show the highlights, but this, and this. Like, I am okay with that, YouTube. I'm seriously okay. Is it because it's because I'm not an NBA partner Like you have to be one of these partner channels where it's like you can't talk bad about anybody. You can't be critical of basketball players. You can't be critical. Like I'm trying to show everybody in a positive light why Trae Young could be the MVP of the league so far. He's looking really good right now. He's looking like he could really be a solid. Like it's just like I want to go full Karen on them, but I know YouTube is just kind of in this sort of malarkey stage right now where it's like you can't even contact them unless it's by email. It's because I'm not wearing a mask, probably, honestly. But it is frustrating to me that I can't show you guys the highlights now. I don't know if it's because it's the official NBA page and YouTube is like, oh, you can't show the official NBA page. Meanwhile, I see a lot of people doing the exact same thing. Ugh. I don't get it. I'm done doing it through the NBA. Like I think that this to me is where I get frustrated with. And I'm gonna start looking all this stuff up. So, at the end of the day, it's not that I feel defeated or I feel frustrated, but at the same time, what I find really stupid about this whole thing, and again, it's like this now instead of a single stream that I did, which had like 8 to 9 viewers on it, now is down to like 1 or 2 because YouTube decides to take down the stream. And it's just at this point, it's annoying. I can do it via Twitch. I can do it via all these other platforms. But when it comes to YouTube, heaven forbid I show a freaking highlight video. Heaven forbid I show something on YouTube. It's just annoying at this point. So it's different between showing highlights on yeah. Is it different? Yeah, I mean, because basically it's like you're basically like the thing is I'm not stealing the content, right, Sean? I'm not like. What I'm not doing is like I'm just not like pressing pause and play, not showing like a face cam or anything like that, and kind of showing you guys like highlights of the game, right? Like I'm stopping it, I'm showing you guys things that are going on in it, and YouTube decides that that's a policy violation. For some reason, that's a policy violation, and I don't understand why. And so I need to look this up on my own, and then I think we'll be fine from there. But I'm only going to be on for another 15 minutes. I'm just at this point I'm frustrated. And I think that it does me no good if I'm frustrated while streaming. And also, I don't want to give you guys like this freaking like almost 10-minute rant on YouTube right now. Because I don't think that that's what, we're not here for me to rant about YouTube. We're here to talk about Trae Young. We're here to talk about the Ja Morant injury. We're here to talk about why the Boston Celtics offensively don't look very good. And it just becomes like this frustrating situation with me and YouTube where I need to get a definitive answer as to why my live stream went down, and like, do I need to add more pauses to it? What's the thing that I need to do? Because at the point where I'm at right now, is that it's become a situation where like, look at this. I'm looking at the timer of when I started my stream just now to where we're at this moment, and it's like it's an 8-minute rant on freaking YouTube, and so I'm done showing video. I think that that's kind of it, unless it's like a high school prospect that we could see going into the G League or NBA. I'm not touching highlight videos anymore because it's stupid. It's stupid that the stream can get taken down because of it, and I can't really like show you guys like, oh, yeah, I can show you guys the box numbers. Like, look at all these stats. Like, what does this tell you? Does that tell you anything? Yeah, it tells you that he's doing good, with the points per game. It's showing you that his PER is good. It's showing you, like, how do I show you guys, like, the reason why Trae Young is good if I just show you, like, a PER of 38.06? Like, what is the 38.6, like, what does that mean to you? For a basketball novice, for people that are, like, very, like, rudimentary, they're just stuck on points, assists, steals, and all that other stuff, that doesn't show the whole picture. And so, the reason why I show highlights is so I can show you guys like, hey man, like this is the reason why this guy looks so good. Like this is the reason, like, it's just like, I wonder if you pull up Twitter highlights, it'll get taken down. I don't think I think it's because it's you know what it is, Sean? And I think I've kind of determined it to be that way. I know the NBA has a partnership program with certain channels. So like if you want to like talk about NBA content, you want to show NBA highlights. I think Chris Smoove, and if you guys don't know Chris Smoove, probably one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, growing up with him. He does NBA highlight reaction stuff, right? So like he'll have the highlights on and he'll show you like you know, he'll talk about like Trae Young or like, talk about like the John Morant injury, for example. He'll show the highlights of the Brooklyn Nets and the Memphis Grizzlies game, and you'll see that he's talking like throughout the clip, basically showing the highlights without a face cam or anything like that. And so for me, what I find frustrating, especially, is that like he can, like, I understand he's part of the partnership program. The NBA gets a piece of his percentage of showing you the clip, but at the same time, man, this has got to stop. And I don't know why I can't. It is fair use because I'm not like the thing is like what I'm not doing, guys, is I'm not adding my own I'm adding my own commentary and I'm adding my own spin to this video. It's not like I'm doing it where it's like I'm pausing it and then I'm letting the video kind of roll out. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, guys, that's gonna do it here for the channel. We'll check in again later. Like that's not what I'm doing. And so that is frustrating to me on many levels. And so I'm not gonna show any more clips from the NBA channel anymore on this channel. It's frustrating that that's kind of how it has to be. We know that that's where most of the highlights come from, but at the end of the day, it's becoming more of a problem than I think than it really should be. And I'm gonna be contacting YouTube about it and asking them like, hey, like why is my stream get taken down by showing you highlights when it's not a live game, and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna be talking about it in a second. So it is what it is at this point. So let's talk about some news and rumors, and then I'm going to be out of here in like about 10-15 minutes because I am probably in no mood to talk right now. But we do need to talk about some of the stories at hand. The first one, of course, being John Morant is officially out for 3 to 5 weeks due to a grade 2 ankle sprain. We all saw the play. We're going to be looking on this through Twitter so you guys can see the injury. So we're not doing it through YouTube. Let's go Ja Morant injury. So you guys can kind of see the ankle sprain here. Like this is what happened. Tried to block a shot. I believe he tried to block Chioza, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, sorry, Malalo Caballone, and then you got John Morant like in agony right now, where he just can't move at all. And this is the unfortunate thing about the situation is that like the Grizzlies, I feel like, are very, very bad without him. Like, you have Valanciunas, very good player, but, like, you have Dylan Brooks, who's basically the Human Torch, will shoot all the time, but, you're not really getting much out of him. You also have Kyle Anderson, who's playing in slow motion. And so I think when I look at everything and when I see everything, I think this is going to be bad news for the Memphis Grizzlies because with him gone 3 to 5 weeks, I mean, let's look at their schedule for 3 to 5 weeks. If we can look at NBA and look at the Memphis Grizzlies. Where are we at? NBA, Memphis Grizzlies, and look at their schedule. I think we can look at their schedule from this 5-week period, right? So basically, he's out 3 to 5 weeks. So, what is that? If we look at the calendar really quick, he's going to be gone until, maybe the end of January, possibly into February is when he's going to come back. And you see all the games that they're going to play, right? You got Boston, you got Charlotte, you got LA, you got LA twice, you got Cleveland, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Portland, Sacramento. Like those to me are that's a tough schedule. Obviously you got Chicago, which is going to be a tough schedule. You got Philadelphia, going to be a tough one. San Antonio, always a tough schedule. Sacramento is an up and coming team. Somewhat, they're still kind of a young team. But playing the Lakers twice is definitely not going to help. And now you're kind of stuck in the situation where it's like, what do you do? Because right now with the Grizzlies right now, they're kind of in this limbo stage where it's like, we want to, I don't know what you do if you're the Grizzlies. I think you got to start looking at some players. You got to start looking at some trade pieces because right now it's just not looking like it's going to be the decision or that's going to be the issue. And let me just make sure that we're live on Twitter, that we're live here because I'm absolutely heated right now. Let's make sure we're live. It doesn't say that we're live. Okay, we are live. Okay, I just want to make sure, guys. Sorry, I'm just kind of not paranoid, but just want to make sure that we are live. Because I know how YouTube is. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough one for you, Sean. I know that your team is looking very it's looking a little scary for you guys. You got to win those games against Charlotte, Minnesota, Sacramento. Like those are some winnable games. Those are games that you have to win. And you're probably one injury away from like a Valanciunas injury to where like we could see some issues. And so that's going to be kind of an interesting scenario as it pertains to everything that is going on. So yeah, I mean that's kind of it for the John Morant injury. It's a big one. It's a scary one, and luckily it wasn't a very big injury to where like he's going to be out for months, but he's going to be out for a couple weeks. And I think that's a lot better scenario than where you're at right now, where it's like not the issue at hand. So I think the Grizzlies are going to kind of have a little bit of a losing streak. I think they're going to lose tomorrow to Boston. Charlotte, they'll beat. LA, they'll probably lose both those. Cleveland, I don't even know. Cleveland's a toss-up to me. Brooklyn, I think you'll lose. Cleveland, again, another toss-up. And then Minnesota, you guys will probably win because I think Karl-Anthony Towns is still going to be out. But yeah, I mean, he might not be out. He might be able to play then. But yeah, it's going to be a tough scenario as it pertains to like what's going on for the Memphis Grizzlies. And so, like we talked about the first 37 minutes of the stream, if you guys want to check it out, it's on my YouTube page right now. We talked more about Trae Young and like what's going on in that scenario. So if you guys are here for the Trae Young news, if you're here for the Trae Young talk, go and check out my earlier video. That one is more geared towards what's going on for Trae Young and why the Hawks are doing so well and why Trae Young could potentially be a MVP. But the other thing I really wanted to talk about is more so with the LA Lakers. So we know that the LA Lakers just lost last night to the Portland Trail Blazers. They looked a little sluggish. They looked a little slow. Right now they're 2-2. So I want to show you guys kind of like the stats right now of what's going on. So Anthony Davis right now is playing subpar to where I think Anthony Davis should be playing at. I had him as my MVP for the season. And right now he's playing probably a little bit below that, like way below that in my opinion. Averaging 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and about 1.3 turnovers. The person that's really, really, I would say really frustrating and someone that is just absolutely not living up to what they need to do is Wesley Matthews. And I think Wesley Matthews is going to be, there's always that one guy on LeBron James' team that you think is going to be a great fit, who's going to help them out really well, but ends up just not being the right player for them. And we see Wesley Matthews right now shooting about 33% from the floor. I believe he's shooting 0% from the three-point land, only averaging 2 points, but like defensively, I think he's a liability. Wesley Matthews is just kind of, I just think that Wesley Matthews is just not going to cut it for you. And I think you need to start reducing his minutes. I think he averages like 15 minutes a game. You need to start giving that to some other players because I don't think that he's necessarily the guy that I would give the minutes to. I'd probably give a little bit more. Yeah, Supreme Gamer, how you doing, man? Yeah, we just had yeah, I know. I went on an angry rant like maybe 10 minutes into the stream. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that, I'm going to I think once my head cools down a little bit in terms of like not being like ranty about it, I'm going to contact YouTube today and kind of figure out like what the issue is. Obviously, it'll probably take some time. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to show any highlights from the NBA channel. Like if it's a high school prospect we're looking at, then I will definitely be more than happy looking at that prospect and the highlights from him. But anything from the NBA channel, I'm not looking at anymore because I think that's the reason why it's not doing so hot. So, or why like right now we're like in a where I have to make 2 streams now. But we're here to talk about what's going on for the LA Lakers, and then we'll kind of sign off out of here. Yeah, so I'm just going to show the box score of kind of some things, but like what I'm here showing you, Supreme Gamer, is that like right now Wesley Matthews is not living up to the expectations that they signed him for. And he's just like, I feel like he's getting lost right now because I mean, he's not really doing too hot. He's averaging, I believe, 5 assists. He's a +5 assist to turnover ratio, if I'm not mistaken. He's averaging 1.3 assists to, I believe, about point 0.3 turnovers. He's just not really doing anything, and I think that they need to start reducing his minutes a little bit more and giving like more minutes to Alex Caruso, start giving it to Horton Tucker, because I don't think that Wesley Matthews is living up, like I said, to the expectations that the Lakers need him to. Anthony Davis definitely is slower, and I think that he needs to start getting back to regular season pace. I understand that they played a tumultuous season where they only had like 60 days of rest, but they need to start getting a little bit better in that aspect. So, in my opinion, I think they need to start looking at that and being like, okay, we're gonna start getting better. Marc Gasol looks good. Obviously, game 1 was probably his worst game he's ever had as a professional athlete, but he's definitely stepped up from that game, and now you see kind of what Marc Gasol can do. They're giving too much minutes to the name value. Yeah, I think I agree with you with Wesley Matthews. He helped Luka Doncic and the Mavs, just isn't doing anything now. The one player that's really, I would say, frustrating for me, and I think the Lakers need to start looking at this, is Kyle Kuzma. I know that Kyle Kuzma is basically just a purebred scorer. Like, that's basically his gimmick. That's all he really does for your team, or that's really all that they need him to do. But with Kyle Kuzma, it's like you get nothing else from him, right? You get no rebounding, you get no assists, you get no steals, you get no defense. You basically just get scoring with him. And I think that that's a big issue. Because when Kyle Kuzma's on and, they're front loading, they're showboating, that team is a scary team. And Kyle Kuzma can add a lot to the fire there. But when the times are tough and you have to start, playing the basketball, and you're going to have to start, kind of clutching at possessions, Kyle Kuzma's not out there. Kyle Kuzma is still the same Kyle Kuzma that we've gotten the last 2 to 3 years, where it's like he's a good player offensively, but when it comes to defense and like shot selection, like you said, Spring Gamer, like shot selection is just absolutely atrocious at this point. It's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know what you're really doing. Like, there's some times where I'm like, Kyle Kuzma, like, why did you take that shot? Or like, Kyle Kuzma, why are you attacking the rim when that's just not a good attack? And I think the Lakers really should be looking to trade him. I know that that's kind of like my answer for everything, it seems like, but I'm not convinced that Kyle Kuzma is going to change. Like, Kyle Kuzma has been the same Kyle Kuzma since he left Utah and went to the Lakers. Like, he doesn't scream to me as someone that I'm like, this guy is going to be a solid player for you. Like, I think like if he's in a different system, if he played for a different coach, I think he actually would really do really well if he was on a different team. But because he's on the Lakers, there's a lot of pressure. There's more distractions. Obviously, with COVID, it's not so much. But what I do find frustrating about the LA Lakers is just Kyle Kuzma's shot selection. Shooting, I believe if we look at his shooting stats right now, shooting about 48% from the field, 47% from three-point land. He's averaging about 2.5 threes a game. Like, he's doing good. I'm not going to say that he's necessarily doing bad, but it's still the shot selection. It's like offense is really the only thing he contributes to the team. And when he doesn't do it with LeBron. He kind of does it in mostly inopportune times. And so I think the Lakers need to start looking at it and start like seeing like, Kyle Kuzma, are you going to be the guy that steps up? Because right now it doesn't look like it. It just seems like it's kind of the same old Kyle Kuzma that we've had for, God knows how long. And so we'll see what happens. I think that they didn't really lose much in interior defense. Like, yeah, you lost JaVale. Yeah, you lost Dwight. But we saw like in the NBA Finals that those guys didn't really make a huge impact. And I understand that it might be because it's the Miami Heat and the team that you're playing. But even if they were playing the Brooklyn Nets last year and they had the healthy squad, I don't necessarily think that they would be in the game. Like, I don't see Kyle Kuzma or I really don't see not Kyle Kuzma, but more like JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard making a huge impact on the team. Like, we saw what happened with them. Like, yeah, they were in there when they had a big man in Jokic, when they had a big man in, who else did they play? Like Nurkic and all those guys. Like, they used the big man to more so, not interrogate, but instigate. There we go. Like, basically instigating like the action that was going on, right? It got Jokic in foul trouble, and they were able just to kind of cleanly just kind of deal with Jokic and not have him on the court. And so what I'm kind of nervous about right now is not so much the defense for them. It's more necessarily like the role-playing bench. Like, There's a couple guys on that bench. Like Wesley Matthews needs to start picking it up right now if he wants to continue getting those 15 minutes a game, because he's dangerously close to being one of those guys that just stays on the bench and does not play again, because he really doesn't add any value to your team. Like he doesn't add any, like if he's not scoring the rock, if he's not, doing like 3-and-D type of stuff, what does he really add to your team? I don't think he really adds much. And I think the Lakers need to start looking at what players can really help them out in that aspect. And whether you trade away a guy like Kyle Kuzma, who's also kind of doing the same thing, only giving you about 14 points a game and giving you basically jack all when it comes to it. So, like I said, the Lakers need to decide what they're going to do with Kuzma. I think now you got to decide, like, is Kuzma's development and growth going to continue, or is it going to kind of stay the same? And it looks like from everybody and from LeBron James's tweet on, like, he might be like your most improved player. He does add multicolored hair. He adds to the hair warriors out there. But the multi-hair warrior nation. But at the same time, what I find kind of interesting about this whole situation is that, like, basically Kyle Kuzma, I think he just needs to step up just a little bit on the other ends of the floor. Like, I know the Lakers are not asking Kyle Kuzma to be the number one defender. They're not asking him to do anything else. But, 14 points a game, although it's a lot, I still think that he doesn't do as much as guys like Contavious Caldwell-Pope or guys like Trez or guys like Schroeder. Like, Schroeder's showing you guys, like, why he's, like, basically the starting point guard, and why LeBron James has never really played with a point guard like Dennis Schroeder, who's very basically point guard focused, right? Because he does average about 5.5 assists, on pace with LeBron James, gets you about like, 0.5 steals a game, personal fouls, kind of getting there. And so I think that with Dennis Schroeder being there, kind of giving you those things, and Montrez giving you certain things, and Anthony Davis and LeBron James giving you certain things, Kyle Kuzma needs to start adding to his bag, because right now the bag is starting to wear a little thin. And I think that the Lakers, if they don't get scoring from him, or if he has an off night, or if he's just not playing well, he's not going to play for a very long time. Markelle for most improved, I could see that. I could see Markelle for most improved. Markel's definitely done a really good job. He's definitely kind of a guy that, from where he was in Philadelphia to where he was now, definitely a different guy right now. And so I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's been able to get given an opportunity to where he can actually compete and do well in. And we got a couple minutes left before we kind of sign out of here, guys. Again, I apologize for the stream kind of cutting shortly. We had a very long stream, about maybe 40 minutes for the first one, and then I went on a 10-minute rant in this one. And so, like I said, I apologize for the rant, and we will be talking to YouTube about it. But for the moment and the time being, we're not going to be doing anything related to the NBA channel. I just think that that's kind of where YouTube is at right now without saying anything. And so that's what we'll kind of do. But I think other than that, there hasn't really been much, I would say. Let's see here. We got Tristan Thompson putting his home up. Nothing really crazy in terms of news rumors. Let's see coronavirus, see if there's any type of news and rumors. We said CJ McCollum says has practiced with the Blazers today and expects him to be available for Wednesday. Anthony said he was not positive for COVID, as he's not in the team because of health and safety protocols. Okay, so that's good. Cavs allow to host more fans in the arena. That's interesting. So it looks like the Cavs are going to start having some fans in the arena. I'm kind of curious to see whether or not Miami. What about talking about the games? Which games? Are you talking about today's games? I can kind of quickly talk about it and kind of give you my opinion on it. I'm not going to take the minutes from Gary. He better not take the minutes from Gary. Dude, that to me is wild. I mean, let's look at the box score from last night. Hopefully they have that game here. Let's see here. The reason why I want to look at the box score is because I want to look at the minutes and kind of show you guys okay, we'll go over the games in just 1 second. Supreme Gamer, we'll go over the games in just 1 second. But this to me is just kind of crazy. Gary Trent finally getting more minutes, because I think there's, I don't know, man. I think Gary Trent needs to be in there, man. He needs to definitely he needs to play a little bit more. I think he needs to play like 30 games or 30 minutes a game, man. He's been really effective for them. 7 for 11 for shooting, 10 for 14. Basically the perfect 3-and-D guy. Like he's really good. And so I need to see that happening. And then we kind of see here on the bench, like the bench, like for the Lakers basically gave you nothing. You got a minus 23 from Kuzma, a minus 20 from Harrell, minus 10 from Morris, Wesley Matthews with a minus 16, Horton Tucker with a minus 9. So it's like you're not really getting much from your bench here. So the bench definitely needs to step up for the LA Lakers. But let's look at the games really quick and kind of go over them. He was really good in the bubble, and I kind of want to see if that's going to continue or if it's kind of going to be like, because, you know, we kind of like, it's kind of the same thing with me and TJ Warren. Like, I thought he was good, but I'm not sure, like, the bubble made him seem like he was like an all-star type of player. But I think TJ Warren's a very good player. He's a very good player that knows his role, is going to get you about 15 to 18 points a game, but that's really it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one, Sean. So we'll see if Gary Trent can kind of continue this, and that's the kind of direction they want to go in. But let's quickly go over the games really quick. We got a couple of them tonight. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got about 10 games today. So I'll kind of make it just a little quicker than normal just because, you know, we're kind of at that allotted time for me, at least, that I can stream for very long. So we got the Celtics versus the Pacers. I think this is going to be a revenge game where the Celtics win. Jaylen Brown needs to step up. We need the rest of the offense too, and I think we need to start looking at. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, either play Naismith or trade him, because if he's not playing as much and you're giving Peyton Pritchard so many minutes, then I think that you need to need to look at trades for Naismith and really start looking to see like what team he can fit on. So I have that going there. Sabonis obviously going to do very well. I would love for Sabonis to be a Boston Celtic player. That's something that I'm rooting for. Hopefully it happens, but you know, we're still kind of in a wait and see approach with that. Like I hope Danny Ainge makes the move, pulls the trigger, because I think I would love to see that. Next one, we got the Knicks and Cavs. I think the Cavs are going to win. I do like their combination of young and old with Colin Sexton and what's Darius Garland, I believe, plays for them if I'm not mistaken. And I think that with the fact that the Cavaliers are doing so well, you got Andre Drummond, who can really match up with Mitchell Robinson. You got, you know, kind of a great team here in terms of like what they're able to do. The only thing that sucks now is that Kevin Love is going to be out, I believe, for 3 to 4 weeks, which is very unfortunate for the Cavs. So I do think that the Cavs are going to win here. Pistons and Warriors. I got the Detroit Pistons sneaking a win here. This is going to be a close one. I know that people have the Warriors they're picking the Warriors to win this game, but I think the Warriors are going to lose. I don't believe in the Warriors too much. The reason why I don't believe in them as much is because, like, without Steph Curry, they're basically not very good. But again, this could be a game where Kelly Oubre snaps out of that kind of cold streak and starts playing very well. Andrew Wiggins is going to be Andrew Wiggins, so don't expect much from him. But I want to see if Kelly Oubre can step up and finally get back to where the Kelly Oubre that we saw in the Phoenix Suns era. And right now, it's just not looking too good. So that's where I have that. I have the Pistons sneaking away a win. Raptors 76ers. I got the Raptors winning this one. I think the Raptors need it in terms of, look at that. All the games are starting to start. I have the Raptors winning here because I think they need a win, and I think that they're... Is Curry out today? Let's see. I don't think Curry is out.
Discombobulated after going for the rebound.
Yeah, I don't think Steph Curry is out. So that's kind of where I'm at here. I kind of want to go quick because I know the games are just starting. Supreme Gamers. So I got the Raptors winning that one. I got the Washington Wizards winning their game because I don't trust the Bulls at all. You know, I think Zach LaVine's a great player, but at the same time, I don't think that even though they're up 3-0 now, I think that I have the Wizards winning here, even though I think Westbrook's playing, so he's back in there. Curry's playing. Yeah, Curry is definitely playing. Bucks Heat. I got the Bucks winning because they need to start getting back on track if they're gonna, you know. I know that we're only like 4 or 5 games in, but I think if they're the Bucks to make a statement, I think the Bucks definitely need to win this game, so I have the Bucks winning against the Heat. Magic Thunder, I got the Magic winning. They're 3-0, and I think they're going to continue their winning ways. They're going to go 4-0. Vucevic, a great player in his own right, and I think that some team needs to start looking to trade for him because I think he could definitely help. I got the Suns winning against the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans just can't score enough points, even though Brandon Ingram's doing his thing. I think the Suns and Chris Paul are going to definitely win this game, and they're definitely going to definitely do their thing. And I think Ayton's going to go off tonight against the Pelicans. So I have the Pelicans winning that game. Clippers Timberwolves, I got the Clippers winning because without Karl-Anthony Towns, that team is not very good, and I believe that Kawhi Leonard is back tonight, if I'm not mistaken, for the Clippers. So expect the Clippers to win that one. And then Nuggets Kings, I'm going with the Nuggets winning it because they need to get back on track and start winning games if they want to be able to compete and be able to do anything in terms of trying to get back to where they were last year, which I think was like the second or third best team. And I have them as my number 2 seed for the NBA. So we'll see what happens. I think that this is going to be a fun NBA season as it pertains to what is going to be going on here. And I do think that the Nuggets are going to get back to that second seed, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it here for the charge. Let's make sure that there's no other NBA news and rumors and basketball opinions out there. We want to make sure that we got everything. We got Chet Holmgren slated as the number 1 pick in ESPN's 2022 mock draft. So we'll be definitely looking at that probably maybe Friday. I think Friday is where we're going to be looking at that. So be prepared for that one. And we see that Alex Caruso was out for Monday's game due to COVID. That's why he was not playing last night. So that's kind of really that's a damper to that team. But like I said, guys, thank you once again for joining me here on The Charge. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Tuesday afternoon. Hopefully you guys are going to be watching some NBA product. I mean, this is going to be a great day for NBA. We got 10 games slotted. So guys, make sure you go and check that out. Also guys, make sure you hit the like button. Also remember to hit that subscribe button. If you're new, can we get at least 8 likes on this video? If we can get 8 likes on this live stream, that'll be very appreciative, and we can start getting this channel to grow. Remember, the more subscribers we have, the more likes we have, the more YouTube says, hey, we should recommend your channel to everybody. And so that way you can check out The Charge and check out like why they're so good at covering basketball opinions analysis. And guys, tomorrow we will be having my boy Pete on. We will be starting the show at 1:30. So that's 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. So Flaming Hot Funyuns, the problem with the stream was that I guess I didn't show. I showed NBA YouTube highlights, and YouTube says, no, you can't do that. And so I think that's what happened, Flaming Hot Funyuns. So I think I'm going to stop showing content or stream footage from there, even though I think it's fair use, and I'm not just playing it and letting it go. But again, don't want to get into a rant about it. But yeah, Sean kind of explained it in the chat. It is frustrating, I would say, because I think that, like we said, we're not stealing it. We're not trying to say that this is our own content and trying to profit off it, like that, far from it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. YouTube makes the rules here. You're on the platform, make the rules. So we won't be showing any highlights from the NBA channel anymore here. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining me here on The Charge, whether you're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Make sure you guys go and hit that follow, hit that subscribe button, and do what you need to do to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. Can we get it done in the next year? That's the goal for next year. So Wiggins made a 3. Supreme Gamer, you've officially crashed the stream with that one, man. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining me here. My boy Pete going to be on tomorrow at 1:30, so go and check that stream out. 1:30 Western time. So that's what's going to be happening. So make sure you guys go and check out that live stream. We will be talking the business tomorrow. So make sure you guys are tuning in for that one. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be an interesting one. Me and my boy Pete, that chemistry, that connection, it's like Dwayne Wade and LeBron James in their prime. Anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace, guys.